Good day, everyone. Welcome to lecture number 15 of Theory of Computation. And in this particular lecture, we will be discussing about the equivalence between the regular expression and finite automata. Okay. So what does that mean? So since in our lecture number 14, we discussed about the regular expressions. Okay. And in our previous lectures, we were discussing about the finite automata. Okay. Finite automata means that we were discussing about the DFAs and NFAs. And we said that finite automata, it recognizes a language, and that particular language is called a regular language. So that means if we have a regular language, what does that imply? It implies that there exists a DFA, or we can say there exists an NFA, because DFA and NFA are equivalent. They have same power. Okay. So also in our last lecture, we were discussing about the regular expressions, and we said that every regular expression represents a language. Okay. And the language represented by a regular expression is called a regular language. So what does that mean? It means that a regular expression and finite automata, they have the same expressive power. What does that mean? Same expressive power. Same expressive power means that they are this finite automata and regular expressions, they are representing the same kind of language, and that language is called regular language. What does that mean? It means that if there exists a regular language, that means that we can design a DFA for that language, or we can say we can design an NFA for that language, and also we can create a regular expression for that language. Okay. Or in other words, we can say that every regular expression. So if we have a regular expression, we can create a DFA for that regular expression, or we can say we can create an NFA. Likewise, if we have a DFA or an NFA, then we can create a regular expression from that DFA or NFA. Okay. So this shows the equivalence between the regular expressions and finite automata. So what we have, we are saying that we are saying two things here. The first thing is, if R is a regular expression, then we can create a finite automata for that regular expression. What does that mean? It means that we can create an automata. Okay. So this means that we can create an NFA, or we can send the automata that for this regular expression. What that means? It means that the language represented by R will be a regular language. Okay. So that is the first part, that if we have a regular expression, then the language represented by that regular expression is regular language, or we can say we can design a finite automata for that regular expression. That is the first part. Second part is, it is reverse. What is the reverse? Reverse is that if we have a language, we have a regular language. Okay, what does that mean? If we have a regular language, it means if we have a finite automata. Okay, because finite automata means a regular language, then we can represent this language by a regular expression. Okay, so these are the two things. If we are able to prove these two things, first thing and second thing, that means regular expressions and finite automata, they have the same expressive power. So what we have to prove? We have to prove two things. The first thing is this one. What is this thing? This one, if we have a regular expression regex, we will create an NFA for this regex, NFA or finite automata. So if we are creating a finite automata for a regex, that means the language represented by this regular expression will be a regular language. Why? Because the language accepted by an NFA is a regular language. Okay, that is the first thing that we will do. What we will do, we will have a regular expression, and for this regular expression we will create an NFA. Okay, that will prove this particular theorem. The first one, what is the first one? If R is a regex, then the language represented by R will be a regular language. Since we will convert this regex into a non-finite automata, non-deterministic finite automata, that itself implies that the language represented by this regular expression will be a regular language, because we have created an NFA, and NFA can only accept, or it can only recognize which language? Regular languages. That is the first part. Second part will be, if we have a finite automata, okay, non-finite automata, non-finite automata n, then what will be the language represented by n? Language represented by n will be a regular language. From this non-finite automata, we will create a regex, regular expression. From this non-finite automata, convert a non-finite automata into a regular expression. So that means for every regular language, we can create a regex, because every regular language can be represented by a non-finite automata, and non-finite automata can be converted to a regular expression. So that means every regular language can be represented by a regular expression. So these are the two things that we will be discussing in this particular lecture, and we will first see how we can create an NFA from a regular expression, and the second thing is we will see how we can convert an NFA into a regular expression, or how we can generate a regular expression from a non-deterministic finite automata. And if we are able to do these two things, the first thing and the second thing, that means we are able to prove these 2 points, these two theorems. And by proving these two theorems, it means that regular expressions and finite automata, they are equivalent to each other. That means they have the same expressive power. Okay, so let me rub this, and let's first discuss the first one, that is converting regular expression into an NFA. Then we will discuss the second one, converting NFA into a regular expression. Okay, let me rub this, and let's start with the first theorem. So as I said, the first theorem that we want to prove is, or we can say we want to demonstrate, is that theorem is, if R is a regular expression, then language represented by this regular expression is regular. Okay, and we want to prove this. How we can prove this? Let's see. So let's write the proof. Okay, so what we are going to do, so let's say R is a regular expression. Okay, and we want to prove that L of R is regular. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's assume R is a regular expression. Okay, R is a regular expression. Then what we are going to do, we are going to create, we will create an NFA that is equivalent to R, to this regular expression. Okay, so we are going to create an NFA N. So what is this NFA? This particular NFA, it will accept or it will recognize those strings which are represented by regular expression R. Okay, so that means the language accepted by this NFA, what will be the language accepted by this NFA? The language accepted by this NFA will be the same language that is represented by this regular expression. And we know that the language recognized by an NFA is a regular language, so that means this is also a regular language. So this is how we are going to prove this particular theorem. So how we are going to prove this theorem? We will create an NFA that will represent this regular expression, or we can say that will accept those strings which are represented by this regular expression. Then we know the language accepted by NFA is a regular language, and this is the same language that is represented by this regular expression. So that means the language accepted, or we can say the language represented by a regular expression is regular. So what is our aim? The aim is to create NFA from a regular expression. And how we are going to do it? Let's see. So what we are going to do, we will do it in the inductive manner. In the inductive manner. How? Okay, you know that in the induction, the first is base case. Okay, let's first consider the base cases. What are the base cases of a regular expression? The base cases are phi, epsilon, and a symbol A belonging to alphabet set. Okay, so this is a regular expression representing this language. This is a regular expression representing this language, and this is a regular expression representing this language. Okay, so this is a regular expression, this is also a regular expression, and this is also a regular expression. So for these base cases, we will create NFAs for base cases, Okay, so let's first create an NFA for phi. So what is phi? Phi represents this language. So we want to create an NFA that accepts empty language. Okay, and that particular NFA will be this. What will be the language of this particular NFA? So it won't accept any string. Why? Because it does not have any final state. So since it does not have a final state, so that means language accepted by this NFA, let's suppose it is NFA 1. What is the language accepted by this NFA? Empty language. So that means language accepted by this NFA is same as language represented by phi, by this regular expression. So we have proved the base case for this. Okay, what is the base case? The base case is if phi is a regular expression, then this is the NFA for this regular expression. Now second base case is epsilon, and we know epsilon represents this particular language, and we can create an NFA for this. How we can create? Like this. if you can see, the language of this NFA is epsilon. Okay, so this particular language or this particular NFA accepts this particular string epsilon, and this is the same string that is represented by this regular expression. So that means for this regular expression also we can create an NFA. Okay, so we can create an NFA for this regular expression phi, for epsilon. Now let's see for A. We know the language represented by this regular expression is this, and we can create an NFA for this. How we can create? So this is an NFA. Let's suppose it is NFA 3, and this particular NFA accepts a language this, and this is the same language that is represented by A. So that means we can create an NFA for phi, we can create an NFA for epsilon, and we can create an epsilon NFA for A. And these are the base cases. Okay, so for base cases it is true. For base cases it is true. What is true? It is true that we can create an NFA from regular expression. So for base cases it is true that we can create an NFA from regular expression. Now we have this is the base case. Now we have the compound cases. Compound cases means compound regular expressions. And we know that any compound regular expression, any compound regular expression can be of following form. So what is the different forms that for any regular expression? The first is it can be regular expression 1 union regular expression 2, or it can be regular expression 1 concatenation regular expression 2. Third is regular expression 1 star. So in these three manners it can be, okay, a compound statement. So regular expression 1 union regular expression 2, we have to see if we have a regular expression like this, how can we create an NFA? Okay. Likewise, if we have R1 dot R2, we have to see the same, how we can create an NFA. And if we have R1 star, then we have to see how we can create an NFA. So for R1 union R2, let's suppose we have R1 union R2. Let's say this is NFA for R1. Okay. And this is NFA for R2. Then how we can create an NFA for R1 union R2? We have already discussed this in the closure properties of regular language. We said that if we have an NFA for one language and NFA for another language, then we can create a new NFA for their union. And how we can create? We will take its initial state and its initial state. We will create a new initial state. From this initial state, we will have an epsilon transition here and an epsilon transition here. Okay. And this complete will be an NFA for R1 union R2. Okay. So the first case is done. So if we have an NFA for R1 and NFA for R2, then we can create an NFA for R1 union R2. And this is how we can create an NFA for R1 union R2. Okay. Now comes the second case. If we have an NFA for R1 and an NFA for R2, So let me write it here. If we have an NFA for R1, so this is NFA for R1, okay, and this is NFA for R2, then how can we create an NFA for R1 intersection R2? It is easy to show it that we can easily create it by taking the final states of R1 of this NFA, NFA representing R1. From its final states, create epsilon transitions to its initial state of R2. So this particular will be the NFA for R1 concatenation R2. So how we can create an NFA for R1 dot R2? From the first one, from the first NFA, the final state of first NFA, create an epsilon transition to the initial state of second NFA. So that will be the NFA for R1 dot R2. Now the third case. Third case is if we have an NFA for R1, how we can create an NFA for R1 star. So let's suppose this is NFA, this is NFA for R1. Okay, this. So let's suppose this is its initial state and this is the final state. Okay. Okay, so this is NFA for R1. So how we can create NFA for R1 star? We can create an NFA for R1 star in the following manner. So if this is NFA for R1, this was its final state and this was initial state. Okay, so this was your assignment. In the closure properties, we said that if you have a language L, how you can create an NFA for L star. How L star is also a regular language. Okay, but here I am giving you the overview how we can create an NFA for R1 star. So what you have to do, you will create another state here that will be a final state. Okay, and from this final state there will be an epsilon transition here, and also from this final state there will be an epsilon transition here back, and this will be our initial state as well. So this will be the NFA for R1 star. So we have shown for all the three cases, first case, second case, and third case. If we have an NFA for R1 and R2, then we can create an NFA for R1 union R2. And how we can create a new initial state and take epsilon transitions from this initial state to these initial states. Likewise, if we have an NFA for R1 and R2, then we can create an NFA for R1 dot R2. And this is the procedure. From the first NFA, from its final states, convert those final states into non-final states and do an epsilon transition from those states to the initial state of second NFA. And likewise, if we have an NFA for R1, then we can create an NFA for R1 star. And how we can create it? Create a new state that will be a final state, and from that will be both final state and initial state. From that state, do an epsilon transition to the original initial state, and from the original final state, create an epsilon transition to this initial state. That will be an NFA for R1 star. So we have shown for the base cases, we can create an NFA, and also for compound cases, these compound cases, regular expressions, we can create an NFA. So from this, we conclude that if R is a regular expression, then we can create an NFA for R. Okay, so that means language represented by R is a regular language. Okay, now let's do some of the examples where we will have a regular expression and we will see how we can create NFAs from those regular expressions. So let me rub this and let's now start some examples on this particular theorem. Okay, so let me rub this first. So let's take an example. Okay. Let's say we have the regular expression A dot B union A whole star. Okay. And our job is to design NFA for this regular expression. For this regular expression means the NFA should accept only those strings that are represented by this regular expression. And let's write the solution. Okay. So for the solution, we know that we always start from the base case. Okay. Let's first, so what are the alphabets here? A, B, A and B. So let's first design an NFA for A and NFA for B. So what will be an NFA for A? So this will be an NFA for A. This is the base case. Okay. And NFA for B. What will be the NFA for B? The similar one. So this is NFA for B. Okay. Now we have to create, so there are different parts here. One is A, another is B, another is A dot B, and another is A dot B union A. Then we have A dot B union A star. So we will first create NFA for this and for this. Then from these two NFAs, we will create NFA for this. And from these three NFAs, we will create NFA for this. And from these, we will create NFA for this. Okay. So we have NFA for A and NFA for B. Now let's create NFA for A dot B. Okay. So we have previously we said if we have two regular expressions, R1 dot R2. If we have NFA for R1 and NFA for R2, then we can create an NFA for R1 dot R2 by taking a epsilon transition from its final state, R1 is final state, to its initial state. Okay. So here in this case, A dot B, R1 is A and R2 is B. So we can create an NFA for A dot B. How? Take this NFA, NFA for A. So this is NFA for A. Okay. And take its final state. Which one is final state? This one. Okay. Convert it into non-final state. Take an epsilon transition from here to initial state of second. What is second? B. So its initial state is this. So initial state of this, and the remaining will be same. Okay. So this is the NFA for A dot B, this one. Now we have to create NFA for A dot B union A, or we can say we have to create NFA for R1 union R2. So here R1 is A dot B and R2 is A. And we know that if we have an R1 and R2, NFA for R1 and NFA for R2. How we can create NFA for R1 union R2? So we have to add a new state that will be a new initial state. And from this initial state, put two epsilon transitions to the initial states of these two NFAs, R1 and R2. So here we have two NFAs. One is this one. So this is first one, and this is the another one, A, because another regular expression is A. So we have to create a new state that will be our initial state. From this, take two epsilon transitions. One to initial state of A dot B. What is A dot B? This one. So initial state is this, and the remaining will be same. A, then epsilon, then B, and this will be the final. And also epsilon transition to second one. What is second one? A. What is A? This NFA here. So this one is the NFA for A dot B union A. Now we have to create NFA for A dot B union A star. So we have to create NFA for this star. So if this is a regular expression, this is regular expression. Now we have to create NFA for it is star. And we know that if we have R and if it is regular, if it is NFA is this, if this is NFA of R, then how can we create NFA for R star? So we have to create a new final state that will also be an initial state. From its final state, take an epsilon transition to its initial state, and also from its final state, take an epsilon transition here. This will be an NFA for R star. So now let's create similarly for this. So this is NFA for A dot B union A. From this, we will create a, what we are going to create? We are going to create NFA for A dot B union A star. So how we are creating? Create a new final state that will also be an initial state. From its final state, take an epsilon transition to its initial state. So this is its initial state. The remaining will be same. So the other portion will be same. And also another is from its final state, take an epsilon transition to the initial state. So from its final state, take an epsilon transition to its initial state. So this is also final, take an epsilon transition to its initial state. So this will represent A dot B union A whole star. So we have shown here, or we have done an example how we can convert any regular expression to a finite automata, or we can say how we can create a finite automata from a regular expression. Now let me give you some of the examples on the same topic that you have to attempt on your own. Okay, so let me write some of the examples. The example one is design the NFA for following regular expressions. Okay, the first is A dot B union B dot A whole star. Okay, and second is A union B star dot A dot B dot A. So you have to design the NFA for following regular expressions. So with this, we have completed the first part. What was the first part of showing the equivalence between the regular expressions and finite automata? The first part was, if we have a regular expression R, then language represented by R is a regular language. And how we proved it? We proved it. So what was the scheme that we used? We proved it by creating an NFA for regular expression R. And we know that the language accepted by NFA is a regular language. So that means language represented by a regular expression is also a regular language. So this is the regular expression. So first part we have proved. Now we have the second part. What is the second part? Second part is, if L is a language, then we can create an, then we can, sorry, let me rub this. Then we can represent it by a regular expression. And this is the second part that we have to prove. And by proving this second part, we are sure that the expressive power of regular expressions and finite automatas is same. Okay, so let me rub this and now let's prove the second part of this